All right, we have Matthew Green here today, and I'm going to talk about a topic and then we're going to jump right in. So imagine a friendly chat request, a seemingly innocent online conversation. But what if it's not? What if the person on the other side is an undercover agent or part of a Virginia ICAC sting operation? One wrong click, one misguided message, and you could be facing devastating felony sex crimes charges. Even a knock on your door from Child Protective Service. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on these online investigations and ask yourself today, are you truly anonymous online? And what are your first critical defense moves if you're caught in the web? Welcome to Lawyer of the Streets podcast, where we unravel the complexities of the legal system. I'm your host, Anshul Srivastava, and with my background as a former prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney who also handles CPS and family law, I've seen how technology has reshaped criminal investigations, especially in sensitive areas like alleged sex offense crimes involving minors. Today, we're going to dive deep into the topic that's increasingly relevant, especially in light of the latest sting operation by Loudoun County. Caught in the web, secrets of Virginia's online sex crime stings and your critical defense plan if accused of this crime. Joining us to shed light on this critical topic is Matthew Green, who's of counsel to my law firm. Matt and I do a substantial number of sex crimes cases throughout Virginia, and a lot of them involve online sting. And if you have been charged specifically with these types of offenses, and you also need someone with substantial experience with CPS, you're going to want to call Matt and I. This combined experience is crucial when discussing online stings that often involve allegations concerning minors. Matt, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Charisse. It's a critical area where the digital world and severe real-world consequences collide, often involving multiple legal fronts.
Precisely. What is ICAC? ICAC is Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. It's really active, and its implications go far beyond just a criminal charge. I want to talk to you all about this important topic because it is so very important. Matt, let's start by defining the problem. What exactly is an online sex crime sting in the context of Virginia laws? And importantly, how quickly can these accusations spill over into the CPS arena and affect family court matters even beyond a criminal conviction?
These stings usually involve law enforcement posing online as minors, or sometimes as individuals facilitating access to minors. They engage targets in digital conversations aiming to elicit statements or agreements that constitute a sex crime, like solicitation or attempted carnal knowledge. The moment an accusation involves a minor, even a fictitious one, in a sting, alarm bells can go off for CPS. If the accused has children or access to children, CPS might launch their own investigation into child welfare, running parallel to the criminal case. This can immediately impact custody or visitation.
That's a really crucial point about CPS involvement. Now, for the common myth that exists, many people believe if I never actually met anyone and it was all just talk or exchanging pictures online, it can't be that serious, or it must be entrapment. Can you bust that myth for us, Matt? Especially considering the gravity of these cases?
That's a profoundly dangerous misconception. As you know, Charisse, the online talk or exchange of images can absolutely constitute serious felonies under Virginia law, like using a communication system to solicit a minor. The legal definition of attempt is often met far earlier than people realize. Regarding entrapment, it's a very high bar. Law enforcement is permitted to provide an opportunity for someone predisposed to commit a crime. Distinguishing between inducement and mere opportunity is where many defenses struggle. Key terms here are predisposition, solicitation, and the very broad term use of a communication system in furtherance of these offenses.
You know, Matt, thinking back on my days as a prosecutor and especially now as a defense attorney, the digital footprint is often damning. What are the top 2 or 3 critical mistakes people make when they realize they might be the target of an online sting, especially if they have family or children that can be affected by a CPS investigation?
Mistake 1, deleting everything. Panicking and wiping devices or accounts might seem like a solution, but it can be seen as destruction of evidence or consciousness of guilt. Plus, law enforcement often has sophisticated ways to recover data or may have already captured it. Mistake 2, talking to investigators or CPS without counsel. Investigators are trained to elicit information. Similarly, CPS workers, while aiming to protect children, will ask probing questions. Anything said can be used against you in either the criminal case or the CPS family law case. It's vital to have an attorney guide you through any interaction. Mistake 3, underestimating the domino effect. People often focus on only the potential criminal charge, not realizing an accusation can trigger a CPS safety plan removal of children, even if temporary, or impact custody battles with an ex-partner who learns of the investigation. These are immediate, life-altering consequences.
The domino effect is huge. That's something I try to emphasize to my clients all the time, because all they're thinking is when they are getting contacted by law enforcement is, oh my God, how is this going to impact me in a criminal arena? And I'm looking at this from a perspective of it's just not the criminal charge. It's all the other things that are surrounding it. Matt, you deal with CPS cases triggered by these exact scenarios. What's an insider's insight about how CPS approaches these cases based on online accusation, even before guilt is proven criminally?
CPS operates on a child safety and risk assessment model, which is different from beyond a reasonable doubt criminal standard. An accusation of online grooming or solicitation involving a perceived minor is often enough for them to initiate intrusive investigations, demand interviews with children, or seek safety plans that restrict contact. They may act swiftly based on the allegation itself to mitigate a perceived risk, and the accused is often playing catch-up.
What's a common emotional trigger or misjudgment you see from individuals that worsens their situation when facing a criminal accusation and a potential CPS nightmare?
Often it's the overwhelming shame and fear leading to paralysis or making impulsive statements to try and explain it away to anyone who will listen. Police, CPS, family. This rarely helps and often provides more ammunition for investigators or social workers. The urge is to fix it quickly, and unfortunately it backfires spectacularly.
So let's switch to a multi-front defense. If someone's caught in this web, facing an online sex accusation in Virginia with potential CPS fallout, what are the absolute first 2 or 3 concrete legal steps they must take?
Step 1, exercise your right to remain silent and immediately hire an attorney experienced in both criminal sex crime defense and CPS family law. This dual expertise is crucial. The strategies for a criminal case and CPS case need to be coordinated. Step 2, preserve but don't delete relevant digital information for your attorney. This means no wiping of devices. Your attorney will guide you what to do, potentially engaging a forensic expert to create a secure copy of relevant data for defense analysis. This is about your evidence, not destroying the state's. Step 3, prepare for parallel proceedings. Understand that you might be fighting on 2 or even 3 fronts: criminal court, juvenile court for CPS matters, and possibly family court for custody. Each has different rules, burdens of proof, and timelines. Your attorney needs to manage a symphony of legal challenges.
Why is it so critical to analyze the investigative conduct in these online stings? And what are we looking for?
We're looking for overreach, inducement, or conduct that crosses the line into entrapment. Did the undercover officer pressure, coerce, or groom the target? Were the target's initial responses hesitant, or did they eagerly participate? Did the officer suggest the illicit activity first and persistently? We also scrutinize how digital evidence was collected, preserved, analyzed by the state for any constitutional violations or errors. The digital trail cuts both ways.
When CPS gets involved based on these online allegations, what are the immediate rights that a parent or caregiver has?
You have the right to an attorney before speaking with CPS. You have the right to understand specific allegations. You're not required to consent to searches of your home or interviews with your children without a court order or exigent circumstances. Though, refusing cooperation can have its own complexities that an attorney must help navigate. The goal is to protect your parental rights while addressing any legitimate safety concerns, guided by legal counsel.
Matt, that sounds like a minefield. I mean, it's like you don't know where to step. Any given second it can blow out. If our listeners from Virginia remember nothing else from today about online sex crime stings, what are 2 or 3 most crucial points they must absolutely take away from today?
First, online actions have severe real-world felony consequences in Virginia and can instantly trigger parallel CPS investigations if any element suggests involvement of a minor. Second, silence is your right and your best friend until you have consulted with an attorney experienced in both criminal sex offense defense and CPS family law. Do not talk.
You know, that phrase, do not talk, honestly, that's why I came up with the idea of calling this podcast Lawyer Up. I can't tell you how many times I wish my clients would just have lawyered up. If they just said, I want my lawyer. Those are magic words as prescribed by the Supreme Court of the United States. And the moment you do that, guess what? And assuming you don't talk further, you really, in a lot of ways, are going to hamstring the law enforcement. So, first of all, I'd add, these are not do-it-yourself cases. They're cases, speeding ticket. I might go to court, I might try to figure out, tell the judge, I need to order seat, beg for leniency, maybe get away with it. Not these cases. The digital forensics, the nuances of entrapment defenses, and the integrated strategy needed for criminal, CPS, and family court require highly skilled legal representation from day one. This has been really illuminating for our listeners. If this discussion has raised concerns or if you found it helpful, please subscribe, rate, and share the Lawyer Up Streets podcast. Your support is invaluable. And if you know or you yourself are facing allegations like those discussed today or other serious criminal, CPS, or family law matters in Virginia, Maryland, or DC, our team of the Law Office of Specie is here to help you. We know how to handle these kind of cases. Call us today for help. And Matt, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to talk about this really very valid and important point today, because we know, just based on our reading of the news just a couple of days ago, Loudoun County just had a sting operation identical to this. So this is very, very relevant and salient to talk about at this point. Thank you, Matt. Have a good day.
Thank you for having me.